Hi everybody and welcome to the live chat. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy this. What have we got on today? Top 5 reasons Pulsechain. Top 5 reasons Pulsechain is the opportunity of a lifetime. And hopefully you guys enjoy this. I also want you to participate in the chat as well. If I don't mention some of the reasons that you've got why you think it's going to be absolutely awesome, and maybe opportunity of a lifetime, you put them into the chat. We'll really love to see your thoughts as well. Hopefully we'll get a good number of people on like we did yesterday, and we'll get into this. Now, Pulsechain's obviously going to be imminent. It's coming up pretty fast, thick and fast, so we're really looking forward to that. I think it's maybe as soon as Sunday. We'll see how we go with that, of course. Ultimately, Rich's decision, but we know that it's very, very, very soon. But let's get into the topic for today. It's going to be the top 5 reasons I have for Pulsechain as opportunity of a lifetime. Hope you guys enjoy it. Let me just double check the audio. Audio's going good, so let's get into it. All right. So the first reason why I think it is because new projects perform particularly well in bearish market or bearish conditions, which is where we are at the moment. And so that's why I think one of the big things is that it's going to be a lot of projects do perform particularly well in the bearish conditions when they're new. So Pulse is new and it's going to be pretty epic. So that's my number one reason. That's number one reason for going in. Not in the order of magnitude, but there we are, number one. Number two, of course, is a system copy of ETH. So it's going to be a system state copy of ETH with virtually most of the projects coming over, and therefore that's going to be huge. And ETH is, of course, is the most valuable utility chain out there, and obviously has something like 85% of DeFi smart contract projects on it. So it's pretty huge, and it's obviously worth a ton a month. So we're going to quickly check out that now. Now, if we go to obviously Ethereum, we can see that Ethereum is currently worth 254 billion US dollars, and Bitcoin's worth 639 billion. And so we're also looking at a potential flipping of Ethereum over Bitcoin this year. That's also on the cards, and obviously that's going to be huge. A lot of people realize that a lot of economic energies run out of Bitcoin at the moment, at least, and that where's the next buyer coming from? That's kind of the logic. That's why we've seen improved value for some other projects, which I'm going to talk about later. And so but where everyone's recognizing the value of Ethereum, and also with the London fork coming up, giving it a short-term boost as well. So there we are, folks. So that's the number two reason. It's going to be a system state over, and that's going to be huge. The other side of it, of course, it's not just a system state, right? Where are we in the maturity of crypto? We're getting really mature. Okay, we're not quite at the end game yet, what I'd call full maturity, and then we have sort of innovations after that. We're in the middle there, and we've actually grown a lot. So the community's grown a lot in the second bull run that we had, and it's obviously come down into a bearish phase now. But basically, what have we got here? We've got DEXs, decentralized, which means that you can keep your tokens and keep your keys, ownership into your wallets like MetaMask. You can keep that. You can now swap between the on the Uniswap, and obviously that uses most of the gas fees as well on the Ethereum chain. And so that there is what's often causes the gas prices to move up and down, making it more valuable in terms of fees, revenue from that point of view. Obviously, they're going to change quite a bit of that with the hard fork and with ETH 2.0, moving to proof of stake, where the stakers get rewarded, which I think is really huge. And obviously, Pulsechain is going to be doing that. The other side of so that's the DEX value, so we can change between wallets over the chain. And not only that, we've got bridges, right? We've got bridges now, which means we can cross over between chains from layer one chain to another layer one, or layer one to layer two. For example, Matic layer two. Layer one takes off some of the congestion off the chain as well, and so we're going to be able to bring that into Pulsechain. That's going to be exciting as well. And then, of course, we have liquidity pools locking up that TVL in there as well. So that's pretty huge. And on top of that, of course, we have DeFi, different DeFi projects. And I've got a video on DeFi on this channel. Check it out afterwards if you like. And basically, we're going through, we're replacing traditional banking. We got replacing lending, replacing basically deposit returns and CDs, investments, just like Hexes. We're replacing that, like Axion is, like Wise is, all these top DeFi certificate deposits. We've got all those happening. And then you've also got other stuff which are going to come up to as well. New products, we've got that happening as well. And so we've got all these things happening on top of this value, levels of value layering on top of these blockchains now with the smart contracts. So it's pretty huge. And we're actually seeing some of the rates come down for some of these products as more funds come in. So we'll look at that a bit later. So that's the thing. We've got this real maturity going on, and Pulsechain is going to be ahead of the curve and ahead of ETH 2.0 in that respect. So it's going to be pretty awesome. All the CR20s copied over, all the technology there, all the business ecosystem on top of it with DEXs, with bridges, all that sort of stuff. It's going to be pretty super exciting as well. So I think that's pretty huge. Let's have quickly check comments here. Alex K says, Pulse can't get here fast enough, says Alex. Alex is our moderator. Absolutely, Alex, you're straight onto that. And player 500, why are gas fees so high again? So we'll get back to that. Just want to stay on track here, but we'll get back to your question there, Alex. Sorry, what's it? Player 500. We'll get to that in a second. So that's number two. We're going to go. That's number two is that system state copy, valuable DEX, valuable bridges, and valuable DeFi sitting on top of it. And so Pulsechain is going to copy that over. That's going to make it hugely value over time as a utility. Obviously, we'll have a speculative play at the beginning, but then we'll get into utility speculative play afterwards. Obviously, that's the way it's going to go. So interesting stuff. Then the third reason, of course, is price discovery on Pulse and ERC20s. And we've also talked yesterday, we talked about that being a bit of a loop. So ERC20s is going to be, you're going to start from zero. You're going to have the wild west, the gold rush up, and people are going to price that up. And obviously, the more valuable ERC20s is going to flow into Pulse and accept and around that way, around it goes. And of course, that's going to be super exciting. That's going to bring massive returns. And that's why I said it's going to be, one of the top reasons why Pulsechain is going to be the opportunity of a lifetime, because you've got that massive value creation. So pretty awesome stuff. So let's just go through those first three. It's going to be new projects perform well in bearish conditions, which we're in at the moment. Number two, it's going to be a system state copy of Ethereum. It's going to be able to have the DEX. It's going to be able to have the bridges. It's going to be able to have liquidity pools. It's going to be able to have DeFi on top of it with all the smart contracts. So it's huge, like from that point of view. And thirdly, that's going to end up getting priced up. All Pulsechain is going to get priced up. All the existing ERC20 tokens are going to get priced up. So what does it mean? It means if you want to become like an ETH whale, you're going to be able to get in early and have that opportunity. It's going to be pretty awesome stuff. Now, obviously, it's all based on the US dollar count that you end up submitting on the day, and a TWAP, so time weighted average over time. So that's going to be the play. So this is imminently coming, of course. And then number four reason, of course, is that within DeFi itself, what is valuable at the moment, in the bearish conditions in particular, you're seeing some of the better performers, the DeFis that are doing USDC, USDT, that sort of stuff, BTC, ETH, fixed returns. So you deposit in, you get returns to that. It might be about 8% or something like that. Those are the really, really big things that are doing well. They get priced up. Right, so you've got Celsius, Aave, Compound, all those sort of projects getting priced up. So that makes a lot of value. And getting that on Pulsechain is going to be huge as well. So the other side of it, of course, there's going to be validator staking on Pulsechain as well. And so you're going to be able to get a share of the fees for that. So it's pretty neat. Now, number five, of course, is Hex is the golden child. So we talked about those other DeFi where we're getting like 8%. They're quite safe. But now we've got Hex as the golden child. You're turning at 38, 39% APY. Obviously, you've got other projects similar to that. But within this ecosystem, it's going to be Hex, the golden child. We get 38%. And so therefore, it's performing well in the bearish markets and performing well in the bullish markets. So that's pretty huge too. So those are my big five. Hope that there's a bit of insight for some of you. Some of you may be aware of all those things, but that's my big five there for things. So get into chat and let us know what your thoughts are at the moment. I think that's pretty cool. And let's go back to, I've got some questions in the chat there. So let's get back into that. Now, I was going to show some different sites, so we will get into that, but I'm just going to have a quick look at to back up some of these things, but I'm just going to look at some of the chats, see how we're getting on. So let's have a quick look. Good question, Alex says. Watching Richard on a BitBoy around the block was hilarious. BitBoy, as Richard called him, was way out of his league. Yeah, I thought so. That was yesterday. Have you seen the live stream today? It was done 10 hours ago with Richard on, I think it was the Banter Show, with the CNBC guy. I think it was. So that was hilarious. Richard, there were some smart guys on that channel actually. There's some smart traders, commentators, and I think chief executive as well. That was pretty hilarious. But Richard stood out from that crowd as well, even despite the fact that they had some particularly good people on there. So do check that out. We'll actually check that out on Twitter, so you can go and check it. I'll paste it in the link. Staker Maker. All right, let's just go back to player 500. Why gas fee so high again? Well, at the moment the gas fees are 10. So let's quickly pull that up before I move on to some of the other comments, and then we'll get on to some of the other stuff I wanted to show you around the top five reasons why Hex, Pulsechain is opportunity of a lifetime. So let's get into that. Let's quickly look at the gas prices at the moment. So at the moment they're actually not too bad. They're like 10, but they're probably doing some testing around. Let's have a look. Obviously the market's a bit low. Let's have a go. So actually not doing too bad lately, in a little wee while. So not too bad. Obviously we had some market volatility around here. So that's probably all I could say about that. There is the if you go on to I can't remember the site, but there's a site that shows you Vision 2. I actually could pull it up, but it's a bit I might be mucking around if I tried to pull it up on here. But it actually shows you what the main causes are for the gas prices going up at any particular point in time. Like version 2, version 3 of Uniswap, that's typically what's driving most of the costs. But of course, they're testing for the hard fork that may be doing something. They may be something that's causing that as well. But also the market conditions as well having a big impact. Staker Maker, how is USD gonna be handled? Any thoughts? No, not that I know of. I just heard that. I think last time I heard Richard was that they were just going to have, probably come in and support it. Excuse me, I'm probably going to sneeze here because it's winter here. You see, I don't want to sneeze. Don't sneeze. Let's quickly go. Good question, Staker Maker. I might look into a bit more into that, but yeah, last time I saw that obviously USDC custodial will support as my guess. I don't see them wanting not to support it, but it's a good question. Sanders, Ethereum gas fees are high again because of the newly launched Shiba swap, 1.5 million TVL in 48 hours. Okay, that's good good indicator there. Thanks, Sandyman. Wasn't aware of that myself, so very cool. So another use case, once again, layering on there, causing gas fees to be a bit more higher. But at the moment, they're not too bad. At the moment, 10 to 15. Justin Davis is 2,500 USD a good sacrifice? Yes, I believe so. Justin, I said even if you did like 500 to 1,000, I think that would actually do you pretty well. If you compare it to say Hex, if you're going to do 100x or 1,000x, we just don't know what the X is going to be. So it's not investment advice, of course. Do your own due diligence. No one really knows, not even Richard himself. But I think that if you're doing something at least $500, that could be quite significant in the future. And definitely 2,500 should be to put you in a good place. But obviously, no one knows the ultimate value. Is it going to be worth 10% of the ETH chain, 30%, 40%? Just depends how long you hold as well. So then there's obviously a lot of market forces in play. But I definitely think it's going to be a leader and therefore an opportunity of a lifetime. As I said, new projects do well in bear markets. It's system state copy. It's got all the technology going to have there, eventually at least. It's going to have the DEXs, the bridges, all that sort of stuff, the DeFi. It's got price discovery, which is going to be epic. It's obviously got a big reputation from Richard and Hex success. It's obviously Hex is the golden child, high APYs on there, and obviously DeFi have also been valued well as well. So I think that's pretty cool. And obviously it's got proof of staking on there, faster throughput. All the basics of the chain is going to be super duper. So there's lots to be had, and we know there's a lot of interest. We know that there's a lot of interest in the market, including from existing products, existing project founders that Richard's alluded to. So, yeah, I think so, Justin. I think that's a pretty good amount, to be honest. Property review show. Hey, good show today. Looking forward to Pulse for gas fees. Absolutely, property review. I think that's going to be a really good use case. It's going to be super cheap. It's going to be really good. Player 500, $30 for a trade is ridiculous. It was 150 2 days ago. Let's have a quick look at that at the moment. We've got Uniswap is around $3-4 at the moment. So it's definitely come down from when maybe you last checked. Looking at $5 there, it's normally about 80% of that. So it's definitely come down for version 3 and 2 and 3. But yeah. All right. Staker Maker. Okay, thanks. No problem. That's all good. Now I think you're referring to the USD. Yeah, I believe that they're going to come and support. That's my feeling. Pulsechain is going to be a big deal, I think. So it would be, economics drives things, right? So I think that shouldn't be a problem. Trust Wallet wants $30. I'll check Uni. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the Trust Wallet, and I know that people occasionally have some issues with certain things with that when they're trying to connect to new things in particular. So I'm not sure what's driving that Player 500. Someone else may have Trust Wallet and know. Yeah, so that's what's going on there. Let's quickly jump over to some of the stuff that's come out at the moment. So those are my big 5 reasons. Get in some of your reasons into the chat. Really appreciate that. And if there's things I haven't talked about either in previous videos or in this video, let us know. Get in there because it always helps to share information between people, and we can always discuss some of that stuff. Now, if you hadn't seen, let's quickly go to Pulsechain. Obviously, this is Pulsechain, so you can actually find it in the video description. But I'll post that as well. This is the official Pulsechain wallet site, so you can check that out. If you're new to Pulsechain, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, smash the bell as well for future videos. We're coming Pulsechain pretty much full time on this channel, as well as obviously the core topic is Axion, which is a certificate of deposit where you get wrapped Bitcoin dividends. But we also cover Pulsechain, also cover general crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all that sort of stuff on here. We're going to be growing that out. Pretty cool. And we've just launched today on this channel, memberships. If you want to join, check out the join button and check out the memberships. That's just been launched right now. I've just launched it right now. So there we are. So I turned it on yesterday. Haven't really promoted it at all, but you can get in there, become a member of this channel, and we're growing pretty fast. So get into there, go for gold. We love to talk. We're very open-minded on this channel. Like to talk about different projects and just have a lot of fun in crypto land for sure. So get into that one. All right, let's quickly check out. This is obviously Pulsechain. We've got nothing new on here. You can see from yesterday, we've got waiting for the Sacrifice launch. That's going to be the first phase. I'm expecting it pretty imminently, as soon as Sunday. And so I think that's probably a good day for gas fees as well. So I think that's pretty cool. We know that there's going to be one address for ERC20s and ETH, and we also know that we've got we're going to have you're going to have to create a unique address for non Ethereum coins and tokens. So we know that much from tweets that we got already. That's official. We went through it on previous videos. You can check that out, or you can just go and check Richard's Twitter, which we're about to do, folks. We're about to do. So we're expecting a new page on here with the sacrifice phase. That's going to be first. Then we're going to have the calibration at the end of that. We're expecting it maybe 14 days plus 3 days for the calibration, and then the final publishing and of the US dollar sacrifice by everybody into the sacrifice addresses. And then that's all going to be transparent on the blockchain. Then we're going to expect something like a snapshot where the Ethereum state has a snapshot before the mainnet, and then we're going to expect mainnet, and then the gold rush, the pricing up of Pulsechain and all the tokens and stuff like that. Theoretically, hopefully there'll be the bridges and the DEX in play to do that. So that should all go together. And then obviously before that, we may expect the public testnet to start as well sometime, maybe at this time of the sacrifice, maybe just after. So we'll wait and see how that plays out. Let us know in the chat if you've got any other insights around that. We'd like to discuss that. Obviously, we do our best to check out what's going on. So we'll check that. Xplayer, okay, Uni was cheaper, thank you. So it is confirmed that Axion will be airdropped on Pulsechain. So no, Axion and Wise may be the two tokens that are not airdropped on Pulsechain because they, originally, not now, but originally, they were CD copies of Hex, and Richard is not happy with the founders for that. But obviously, there's a lot of Hexkin investors in both of those projects. But those projects are both very different now. Obviously, Axion has auctions where you get wrapped Bitcoin, so Hex doesn't do that. And obviously, Wise has airdrops where you get BNB airdrops, so Hex doesn't do any of that as well. So they're different, very different now. Obviously, there's new teams. They've got different technologies layer on. They're very different from what they originally were. But of course, that's up to Richard's discretion. So hopefully that answers that question. Once again, we don't care on this channel. We're basically all keen to see the opportunity of Pulsechain as opportunity of a lifetime. That's pretty much it. So cool. All right, so I think I got up to that one. So that's the official Pulsechain site. That was Player 500's question. And Justin Davis, is there a USD wallet address the foundation has made known? It's going to be made known on the sacrifice So there'll be obviously that's going to come up with probably on the ETH chain, I imagine, but there possibly that you can nominate other ones as well. Let me just pull up the old. We've got the original nomination. Let me just pull that up. Just going to pull that up in a second, just a moment. Just waiting for that to open before we get into the good stuff. We're going to get into the juicy stuff, folks. We're going to get into some good stuff here. Just waiting for that to. Not sure why that's taking so long. Let me just open it. It's almost open. Okay, let me just open that up. Scroll that down. So far, what we know is that we're going to have BTC, Wrap BTC, REM BTC, ETH, Wrap ETH, USDC, Unicoin, Hexcoin, Link, DAI, USDT, Aave, MER, I think it is, Litecoin, Dodge, Zcash, BCH, Cardano ADA. So we've got a lot of those top 10 coins as well as non-ETH ones and ETH ones, and we've got I think it's Sol, I think it's Dot, Aave, XRP. So that was asked yesterday by Justin, XRP. So we've got that, and FIL. But there's gonna be other ones. We know that Monero is in the house as well. So there's going to be other coins in there. So it's going to be pretty cool. I think there's going to be, you're not going to lack too many options, to be honest, to sacrifice. Obviously, it's the US dollar value that will count, and they are going to be using a trade weighted price over the period. So hopefully that helps. Player, I have some liquid X in. Yeah, so we talked about that already. I spoke to, so we'll find out player 500, but that's our understanding at the moment that those potentially those two, they haven't been stated explicitly as far as I know, but they were stated as the two copies, which would probably be those two projects, is my guess. But it one of those might be wrong, so we'll find out. We'll have to wait and see. Justin says they won't. Yep, so there we are. I spoke to the foundation through email today. Lisa said they don't accept XRP or Hex for sacrifice. Okay, that's through the Sense Foundation you're talking about for the to support the health and life project science. I think is that what you're talking about, Justin? Just if you could clarify that. Yeah, let us know on that. They may be slightly different, you see, so not sure, but that's what's on the original list. So we're waiting to find out. Yes, just for the Sense Foundation, yeah. So we'll see whether that was on the original list. So if XRP is not on there, that'd be quite a surprise. But good query there, Justin. That's certainly, yeah, I haven't heard anything on Richard's videos or anything about that since that time. All right, let's quickly get into some of Richard's tweets. This came out 22 hours ago. What high market cap coin might someone you know be sacrificing? Useful for knowing which can be dropped to start sacrifice quicker. So that was an interesting question. I'm not sure if that's just a general question or there's something sitting in behind it. Often Richard's stuff's always a bit secretive. If you think that there's something special behind that, or whether it's just a generic comment, just to aid you in what you should sacrifice, let us know. I was trying to think about whether there was something mystical behind that. So that was interesting. Now, the other side of it, of course, there's quite a few comments on Hex, but the big news, of course, is that Hex got into the DAT radar, finally, which is really big news. So there's some of the gatekeeping is starting to fall down, and that bodes really well for Hex as the golden child. So that was my fourth point about Hex being, a good 39% APY yield. So that's pretty cool. Hex is number 3 on top of the 5, and so that was really cool. And then they actually wrote some comments about it as well. So you got a couple of comments there, which I thought was pretty cool. And I think this is from the actual DAT radar, and that was the comments that they so basically at first they considered Hex high risk, and that they with all of the bad mouthing about it at the beginning, but now basically they see it as something that's really that the DApp it's created and price seem very stable now, so they've added it in. So huge news for Hex. That's a big move. DApp radar, obviously, that's the place to go if you want to find the big DApps. And so we'll just jump there now. And here is DApp radar, so you can go check that out. I'll just post this in the chat as well. You can check that out. That's pretty cool. Oh, post that there, sorry. And let's quickly check. We'll just check Justin's comment. She said they only accept what can liquidate on Coinbase. I only point this out. No one's caught off guard. Okay, yeah, no, much appreciate that, Justin. Yeah, it's good to know. That's the Sense Foundation for the Life Health Science. That's what they've probably just got a Coinbase account. Now the other side of it was that people were thinking, is Hex going to get on Coinbase? That was also a previous thing that Rich talked about. I'm not sure what's come of that, so we'll watch the space on that. It could be an open question. Sense Foundation is quite recognised, obviously. Got some big founders supporting it as well, so that's something to watch out for. All right, so that's the debt radar, and look, where Hex is, number 5. So gatekeeping is slowly falling away. Obviously, there's also a court case on CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko to get Hex placed correctly, as it is on nomics.com, where Nomics is posted correctly for Hex at I think they're number 4, number 5 spot, competing with XRP there at the moment. We can actually bring that up actually. Nomics.com. So nomics.com doesn't have any gatekeeping on it. So let's see where Hex is there. So Hex is sitting at number 5, obviously the golden child, and obviously offering like 38%, 40% APY. So that's pretty awesome. Particularly performs in the bear and the bull market. So, and that's obviously with the lower liquidity as well in the pools. It means that it can be priced up pretty high, and the time weighted average price that will be in the Pulse Sacrifice will be improved greatly, is our expectation, and we should expect another rally. That's what we're expecting. A lot of people are, obviously not investment advice, but that's we're expecting it to maybe potentially blow past 10, 12 cents, maybe to 15 cents, maybe even further, with the top of the range in the next push. Super high 25 to 40, but obviously that's the very high part of the range, but we definitely could get it shooting up towards that 15-cent mark. I think that's quite reasonable when the sacrifice gets on. So it could be all heck, or hell could break loose, as it were. Now let's quickly check at the moment where Hex is. Hex is at 0.085 at the moment. So that's where it's at. You can see it had a little spike there, probably some bots trading there, but slowly moving up there. And obviously the sacrifice is probably imminent. And like I say, my opinion is that it's probably as early as Sunday, which is typically the lowest gas fee day. And definitely gas fees around about 13 Gwei at the moment. So that's another 24, 36 hours away by that time. So we'll see what happens. And we know that it was within 2 weeks. And so we're already, well, almost end of week one. So we'll see how that plays out. All right, so let's go back here. So this is where Hex is on the DApp radar. I think that's really cool. And it actually bodes well for Pulsechain, of course, unleashing less criticism and more acceptance by the wider crypto community. So that makes Pulsechain even more accepted, especially with the founder being Richard and getting more credence. And once again, if you didn't see this, go check this out. This was such a good interview. It was actually with it'll just pull this up actually. You can actually see this. I watched this before the live stream. I really enjoyed it, and it was really cool. So go check this out. This is on. Let me just get rid of that ad. This is on Crypto Banter. Obviously very well known. I believe he's on CNBC or something like that. It's got a CNBC show, but you can actually see Richard on there. Let me just jump. I think it's up to this one here. Let me just post that in. So Richard on Banter. Go check that out. That's a really cool interview. Nothing on Hex or Pulse on that. That's going to be next week. So don't expect to see a lot on there. Really, it's just about Bitcoin evaluations and some really great insights. So check that out. I think you'll really enjoy that. Obviously, this is the host who's actually quite well known in crypto. His knowledge is okay compared to the rest of these people. Have got far more knowledgeable, especially this chap up here. Extremely knowledgeable, and obviously Richard. I think there's two of the two standouts, and yeah, some of the others were okay, but these two here really stood out. Obviously Richard with that, so it was pretty cool. If you want to learn more about crypto, what's happening with the markets, definitely well worth watching, especially risk management and other stuff like that. So it was a really good interview. Check that one out. The other thing, of course, is that that's been released. And obviously we're going to see what happens with the Pulsechain when it gets valued up against Ethereum. It's over $250 billion at the moment, 254 billion. Well, let's see, is it going to be worth 10%, 20%? It's going to be really fun to find out. And obviously, we're thinking might have a good chance of getting up to 1-2 cents. We'll see when it launches on Pulsechain eventually. But obviously we've got the sacrifice phase first. That's going to be very telling. Well, people will be looking at how much gets sacrificed in there. Obviously, Richard's after a bull bounce, but pretty much, or bull trap, where it bounces back up. He was really keen on getting 55,000 BTC before it pulls back down to 10,000. Pretty much his idea, but really would need to get over 42 first. 42, then the 55, and then pull back right down to 10. But he wanted to get the bull trap, so that the chain would get valued up even further than it is. But at the moment, still in an okay position. This is an okay level, and I think that's probably why he's probably just going to go. That's the case. Right, so pretty cool. I think that was a pretty cool coverage. So those are my top 5 reasons. Let me just go through those one more time. Why I think the top 5 reasons Pulsechain is the opportunity of a lifetime is: 1, new platforms perform particularly well in bear markets. EOS was a great example of that. System copy of ETH, most valuable, obviously 85% of smart contracts, DeFi domination on ETH chain, and of course Pulsechain is going to beat it to market with its ETH 2.0, faster, more throughput, that sort of thing. Obviously it's got a big reputation behind it, with Richard as founder and Hex Success being the best performing chart probably in the last year and a half, or but probably a year and a half. So pretty awesome. And it's obviously going to have the DEX, a copy of a DEX, going to have bridges. All the technology is new, mature, available, so it's really makes it very valuable. And obviously more DeFi can go on it, more new projects, as well as copy projects that are already copied over, building on Pulsechain too. So pretty awesome. Obviously super cheap fees, which is a big deal for Hex stakes and unstaking, and any staking smart contract, really smashing those S-load fees. And obviously Hex is the golden child. You get good APY on there, and obviously cheap staking, unstaking on there, and also you obviously get the other DeFi as well, which do particularly well. Celsius, Aave, and all that compound, all that sort of stuff, which is where in bearish markets those do particularly well. And so that gives more added support to the idea of valuation with the DeFis on there. So I think it's pretty cool. Makes obviously entering those contracts much cheaper as well on the Pulsechain. So 5 big reasons. Obviously, there's more with Richard's reputation and some of this, this gatekeeping disappearing with the radar DApp, and that's a really big move that just came out. That's fresh off the press. So very cool on that. We'll just jump back over to there. So don't forget to check out the live stream there. I'm not sure how I got there. So that's the one there, and then there's a new one here by Funding Jim. Check that out. Funding Jim's one of my favorite hexagons, probably my top 3 or 4. He's really good stuff. So he's got some truth bombs there if you want to check that out as well. So that was pretty much it, folks. So I hope you enjoyed that one. The chat's a little bit quiet, so we'll probably end up here. We've been going about 35 minutes, maybe 33 minutes, but really cool on that one. Get into the chat if you want to. We'll keep going, but definitely I think that it's pretty imminent having Pulsechain coming up. I think it's as soon as Sunday. It's my guess. Obviously, Richard's going to decide. Ultimately, it's his project, but just based on the fact we had 2 weeks, within 2 weeks, and we're almost at the end of 1 week, and Sunday's normally the best for ETH fees. And they are coming down. We are getting back underneath that 20, 10 to 15 Gwei at the moment, which you can see on the actual Gas Now site here. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. And yeah, that the ETH, the Hex is holding up. So I still think that's going to be one of the favorite pairs. And obviously in coins, I think Uniswap obviously going to be valued pretty highly. I think it's going to get valued pretty highly on Pulsechain as well. That's one of the things is that's probably one of the highest valued on Uniswap, of course. On Ethereum chain, but obviously it's decoupled from the actual chain. It's sort of just a overhead token, but it's been super valued because of the success of Uniswap being the biggest DEX. So big time. You own your keys, you own your coins. Go home with that every day. If you can do that, that's a wonderful thing. So yeah, I think that's about it there. It'll be interesting to see whether projects like Dogecoin. I think Dodge was going to be on there, but for stuff like Shiba, probably won't be, as my guess. Really, the underlying values does not support there. Richard doesn't typically support those sort of values, so we'll be interested to see whether that holds up there or not. All right, awesome stuff. So yeah, 35 minutes. I think we're done. We've got no more comments on there. Really appreciate you guys coming along. I hope you guys enjoying this series on Pulsechain. we'll be covering it in depth over the next weeks and months, because it's going to be super exciting. Once again, we've got the sacrifice coming up. We're likely to have the testnet of Pulsechain coming up at a similar time, and then we'll probably have the calibration at the end. Maybe run 2 weeks. Then we'll be followed up with a snapshot of all the ERC20s. They'll just get copied. So one of your strategies can be just to do nothing, and you will just get the copies over of whatever you're holding on the ETH chain. So that might be one of the things to do. And then we'll actually have the mainnet launch, and that's when we're going to get that price discovery, the gold rush, the wild west, as it were, and we'll find out what Pulsechain is going to be worth, what all the ERC20s that get copied over into the Pulsechain are worth, etc. So it's going to be pretty awesome, and we're going to get to find out what new projects come on, who gets involved, how big the sacrifice is, and all that sort of stuff like that. So it's going to be a lot of fun coming up for sure. So get in and do your due diligence, of course. It's going to be a fun time. All right, I'm going to end up the live stream here. Really appreciate it. Subscribe, like, and share. Hit that bell, of course, for new videos. And just launched today the membership for Axion Token. Get on there, the join button. Have a look, check out the different options, and become a member and get some access to some of those special features. And merchandise will be coming sooner than later too, which is going to be part of that whole program for membership on this channel. But we're growing fast, and it's going to be a fun time. So I hope you enjoyed that. Catch me next time. Cheers. Peace out, of course, and take care. Enjoy yourself. Live long and prosper. And of course, I'll be doing a live stream of the Axion auctions tonight. I do those every day, and they're so much fun. And we just never know how much ETH's going to get in there, how much Bitcoin's going to be paid out to stakers. It is a huge thing for Axion and a lot of fun. It's certainly like every day we do it, so it's pretty cool. All right, catch you next time. Cheers.